I'm sorry we are late. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Hello. Who do we have in here? I see you, Christy. Good morning. Good morning. Can y'all hear me? I see my thing. Can you hear me? All right. Good morning. Sorry about that. Actually, I'm not even going to apologize. I am getting ready for back surgery. I had to get all that taken care of, and come to find out there's rude people hitting, my anesthesiologist up and not getting work done. Yeah, it's quite upsetting. Anyways, bring it back down. All right, good morning. We are going to begin our day. This is tea time. Good morning. Okay, I'm going to take a deep breath. We're going to start this over. Good morning. This is Tea Time with Lady M. I am Lady M. I am also Roberto, whatever you would like to call me. Today, we're going to be talking about empaths, and we're going to start with our grounding method. Phone apparently wants to yell at me. Okay, anyway, so we're going to start with our grounding method today, and the grounding method it's part of our elemental grounding. I don't know if you've seen that, but if not, they're posted, so you can go back and watch them. There's 3 weeks of them so far, different ones, different grounding methods. We create it as an elemental, and so I can't do all of the elemental thing, so I pulled the fire from it. And it says, think of 3 ways in which you can express gratitude and appreciation. Giving gratitude and being appreciative is so, so important, especially as an empath. And you'll see why. So this is to someone who has supported you, and let gratitude, it says, and let gratitude guide your actions. So the first one I am absolutely thankful for is my hubby. That man, while he is on his own journey, he's had to sit back and he's had to really pull me out of some deep things when he himself is going through it. Loving the haircut. I went a little short. It is a little uneven in some spots, but guess what? I don't care. I love it. It's cute. It's bouncy. It's fun. I really just, the length that I had, it was just it was heavy, uncomfortable, I guess you could say. The second one is going to be all of you joining me in here in our group on the Book of Face. Those you people, like everybody who is joining me and supporting me, you're helping me get my voice out there. You're helping me not only learn and grow, but yourselves as well. I am so thankful for it. I'm also thankful for my spirit team. And if you can kind of see, I have a little backdrop, ocean backdrop. I love the ocean. And my Finn has been very, very, very prominent lately, especially the last week and a half, 2 weeks. And he's been bringing other turtles with him. Can't quite see it, but there's another turtle as well. So I have to thank my spirit team because they have been doing some amazing things, showing me amazing things. So I'm very, very blessed to have all of you, my hubby, my spirit team, all on my side, because there is some amazing things that are coming to light. And yeah, I'm excited. How is everybody today? It's also new moon. So new moon energy. Yes. Here's to that. All right. Empath. Or no, we're not talking about empaths, are we today? Is it empath? Make sure. Yes, we are. So, empaths. If we look it up in the dictionary and we look at the definition of what it is in the dictionary, we can go based off that. But we also have our own experiences as an empath. So what is an empath? In the dictionary, it is a noun. It is one who experiences the emotions of others. So you remember how we've talked about like projecting emotions, and little tidbits that talked about like, hey, if you're an empath, keep in mind these things, because as an empath, we have a tendency, yes, we can experience, I am an empath. Um, and I will tell you that I am to a plane where I can tone down those experiences. So I'm not wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and trying to get those things taken care of. So as an empath, I have personally toned mine down. I can still understand, I can still feel with my own feelings, but I don't have your emotions being projected onto me as an empath, because that's draining. So I know how to protect my energy. I know how to set those boundaries and say, okay, you know what? I'm not feeling people today. I'm not. So I'm going to turn it off. I don't want to do it. But I do exercise my empathy through different ways, not just through people. So, are you an empath? Have you known you're an empath? What things have brought you to know that you are an empath through your journey? How to know if you're an empath? How to see if others are empath? Because remember, not everybody is an empath. They can't feel those feelings, but they can learn to understand people and their emotions, even if they don't feel it. That's bringing compassion in. So as we go through this, you'll notice like things are going to. I'm excited to talk because did you know there's different empaths, different types of empaths, and one was very intriguing to me. And I didn't know it was possible, but it does make sense. So, how to tell if you or someone else is an empath? Well, you have the ability to understand the experience and feelings of others outside of your own. So, and again, you may not fully understand that this is an empath tendency, but it's something that you're feeling. It may come across as your own feelings because you don't realize that somebody is projecting their emotions onto you, and now you just feel it. Maybe you are happy go lucky, and then all of a sudden you're just rage filled and you want to punch everything in sight. Is it your own, or is it somebody else? Is it somebody that you're picking up and maybe they need attention? Maybe they need that soft, loving heart to bring them down. Um, it's when you learn to disassociate from your emotions and others' emotions, it does make a world of difference. Um, for those things, closeness and intimacy can overwhelm you. Um, it really can. I will say this, I'm a very solitude person. Even when friends are talking to me and it gets overwhelming, I have a tendency to shut down. Even with my empathy turned down, so I'm not feeling it, I have a tendency to shut down because it becomes overwhelming. It could be happy, it could be sad, it could be anger. It's that those stimulating emotions that just you're like, it takes you through a whirlwind and you're just like, whoo, wow. So just remember those things. You have good intuition. You trust your gut. You've gotten to that point where you can say, yeah, that's not a good scenario. I don't think we should do it. If we do it, there's going to be consequences. Okay, yeah, we should do it. Or, those unsure moments, that's your intuition coming in. Those are those clears coming out. Um, it's beautiful how all of these tie together. You have a hard time not caring about others. And this is where detachment is key. Like detachment is absolutely key. And it's hard. Sometimes it's very hard to separate yourself from those emotions, because when you separate yourself and you begin to heal, you're working on your own emotions, right? So you're feeling those emotions. So you're understanding those emotions. And that's, again, it goes to some people who, may not be empath, but they can begin to break those changes and become compassionate in their own ways. Are you a beacon? Maybe you are a beacon and you don't even realize it. Do people have a tendency? I'm naturally an introvert. However, when my empathic abilities, let's spill my tea, abilities come forward, it can be overwhelming and I have the need to help. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning. Thank you for joining. We're not too far in. We had a late start. I had an appointment this morning. So good morning. Welcome in. We are talking about empaths, Jamie. Are you an empath? Are you, how do you know what your empathic tendencies are if you are an empath? Yes, Christy, and it takes time. It takes practice to be able to control those emotions that come to you and leave you. It's that input output method. But anyways, people tend to tell you their problems. You become a beacon and you don't know why. All of a sudden, like you're out at the zoo. We're going to use the zoo as an example. You're out at the zoo with your family and all of a sudden you just stop and you just kind of look over and out of the kindness you're like, "Hi, how are you today?" Just to be polite. And then all of a sudden it's just an emotional dumping onto you and you're like, "Oh," and then they walk away. Empaths are beacons for that. Here's why. Those that are not empaths or in tune with their empathic side or their compassionate side, they have a tendency to go to those people who are beacons because we're light. We're those people who are here to help them. So what they do is they get verbal diarrhea like they've known you their entire life. They verbally spew it all over you and sometimes shit stains are just a little bit hard to get out and you just don't need to hear, but you hear it anyways. So you're getting this spewed all over you and you have to figure out how to react, how to give information back. Sometimes it's just being a good listener because an empath, and also being an empath is being a good listener. You can listen to people's problems. So when you become a beacon and people drop their emotional baggage on you, they leave. Do you realize their emotional, negative, whatever they're going through, they feel completely 100%. They're just a weight's been lifted off their chest and they're like, man, I feel better. Now you're stuck with that energy. It's because you're an empath. It's because you just got emotional baggage that you didn't need. It's somebody projecting onto you. It weighs on you. It's heavy. There's definitely a reason for timing. Absolutely. Always my friends are like, did you know that person? Nope. Why did they tell you all that? And because we're an empathic, we're beacons for those people and we're here to help them. Now I will give the difference between like myself and my hubby. My hubby is a natural. He is meant to be in the light. He is meant to help those that are in the light. He is a natural beacon. We both are, but he's that natural beacon where everybody loves him. Everybody wants to be friends with him. Everybody wants to talk to him. And then they just leave and then it's over. And he doesn't understand that. And I've started breaking it down to him and he's like, "Oh." But now that he's starting to understand his gifts, especially more of his empathic gifts, and how different they are. Like he is a light worker. I am a shadow worker. I work people from the shadows. You'll hear me say this. I am here to bring people who are in the dark and struggling to escape, but want to escape and come back into the light. That's my job. Whether they're here temporary or permanent in my life, I'm here to help those people. I'm here to bring them forward. My husband is similar, but he is the light. He's those people who are not lost, but need somebody to talk to. So that's his beacon. You have a hard time saying no, and that comes with trauma too. So maybe somebody needs something done, and you're like, and you're busy, and they're like, "Hey, can you come to this birthday party?" You know, and all of a sudden, you go to it and you're sick. Something says maybe you weren't supposed to be in that situation in that moment, and the universe was trying to tell you. Um, Learn to say no, even if it's hard. It's about setting them. Oh, yeah, I'm calling you out directly, sister. Absolutely. And I'm glad you caught on to it. Um, you are, let's see. You need time to recharge yourself. That means, taking that time for that self care, rejuvenating yourself, grounding, protecting, cleansing our energy. Because as empaths, we carry it all. I've gotten the habit, monthly, I am cleansing my home of energy. Doesn't matter if it's just my family that's been in my home. I am cleansing that energy because somewhere along the lines, someone's had negative um, feelings or thoughts. So we cleanse it. It's just a good thing to have. You don't feel like you fit in. Most of my life, I felt like the black sheep. I didn't know, where I help people, but I didn't understand it. I was also in a position where I couldn't. Good morning, Jason. Sometimes, a lot of the time, which one are you replying to for? Yeah, which one are you replying to, Jason? So you don't feel like you fit in. You feel like the black sheep. You isolate. You don't necessarily have to be an introvert, but I'm just gonna take this off. When the time comes to it, when it comes to push or shove, it comes down to needing time to recharge. Yes. So take that time and recharge. That your body's telling you. And if you don't recharge, you're gonna get sick. If you don't take that time for self-care, your body and the universe is gonna tell you otherwise. You get emotional overloads. So again, it's determining it. Are we finding this out? Is this a you problem? Is this a me problem? Are you projecting onto me? Um, am I here to help you? You have to begin to figure those things out. You begin to see the world. Maybe you see the world in unique ways that different people's perspective don't see it the same way that you do. You don't like conflict. I have been in so much conflict in my life, and it's caused so much trauma from childhood abuse to young adult abuse. And this is verbally, spiritually, physically. I've had quite a bit happen, and it's hard to not get trapped into those. So I can get very overloaded. If somebody's coming at me with conflict, I will shut down. Okay, I become really quiet. I become mousy. This last time, instead of using getting quiet, I just said, please stop. Just looked at the person. Please stop. That's all I said. Please stop. They have their own work. They have their own healing. I was not yelling. I was not reacting to that person while they were projecting. I had to remember. Yes, Jason, avoiding those toxic people is very important, and that's how to take care. I'll talk about that in just a minute when we get into how to take care of your self as an empath. Um, are you a human lie detector? If so, you're an empath. Just saying. You are able to detect lies, even if it's a minute lie to a big lie. Bonus kids, they think they can get away with a lot. And I'm like, yeah, no. Sorry. Yeah, no. So when you do not recharge yourself, you risk the chance of burnout, because guess what? All of these energies, if you're being a beacon to others, if you are absorbing all these energies, guess what? You're gonna burn out. I have burnt out. It is not a fun process. It's especially I burnt out prior to knowing who I was. So I didn't have these techniques. I couldn't ground myself. I didn't believe in meditation. I said meditation's for the birds. It's not for me. True story. You could be introverting, so you absolutely could be um an extrovert. I am an extrovert when I go out and I talk with people. I am absolutely an extrovert, and I go. And I can be chatty Cathy, but I'm also an observer. And I will introvert very, very, very hard. I've said I'm in my solace phase. Absolutely. Solitary, beautiful, beautiful. I can't make it out. But I take that as my isolation. I use other techniques to keep my empathy going so I don't have to diverge myself into people and figure it out. I do, but in a physical sense, I don't like doing it because I know how burnt out I do get, especially if I don't take care of myself. Are you curious? Are you a great listener? Cleaning is your meditation. That's a good one. Some people struggle with cleaning. I am one of those people, so I have literally had to break it down and get piece by piece and get those things going so that I can start moving forward and taking care of my house for what I can do as one person. And others are learning their lessons too. Um, so those are different things that can show that you're an empath, right? Now there's different empaths. Do you know there's a different empaths? Because let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 different types. Oh my God, yes. People are toxic, but people just think being a bitch, tell the truth, shows the self. And when people think you're being toxic and they're acting like it, guess what? They're projecting. They're projecting their own emotions onto you. So if you're cutting those people off and you're like, no, I'm sorry, we're done. I don't need this in my life. Absolutely not. Cut them out. That is part of being an empath that we have to learn is to be able to let go, because we have a tendency to hold on to things, whether we know it or not, because a lot of the time it's other people's projections coming onto us and latching and staying, and we're not fully cleansing our energy in those things. So the types of empaths, there is emotional empath that is very, very sensitive to people's emotions, working on it. You will get there. Just be patient with yourself, be loving, give yourself that self-care, give yourself those breaks. You will get there. I promise. But being an emotional empath, I have heard of emotional empath, probably not in this exact term, but they're very sensitive to people's emotions. So when it means they're very sensitive to people's emotions, that means if that person is heartbroken, crying their eyes out because they lost their animal, that empath can absolutely feel and be in tune with that person's emotions and start crying. Maybe somebody is getting angry. Actually, let me do this one. This is for a good one for projecting. If you live in Washington State, you know that in Seattle, Washington, there is the Space Needle. I am not. Let me repeat this. I am not afraid of heights, and I've gone up and down that thing many, 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 many times. I will no longer go up and down it. I will no longer go up to the top. And here's why. The last time that I went up there, and this was when I was beginning my journey, I picked up on, and this is one of the reasons why I've turned my empath down. So I don't feel, I still understand, I can still help, I can still do the things that I need to do, but I'm not putting my emotions in the mix. So that it's not confusing. But I got vertigo, insane vertigo. Never had like that bad of vertigo. Like I looked out and it was just instantly, even just across the horizon, it was just instant, like I was like, nope. I looked at my husband and I said, we need to get off of here, and we need to get off of here now. That is how bad somebody was projecting their emotions. And I was able to pick up on it. I got that feeling, and did it cause fear for me in that instant? It absolutely did, because even though I knew I was in a safe space, that I can't explain it. That vertigo feeling, it literally feels like everything's zoning in and you are falling fucking forward. Like you might as well face plant. And it was really, really, really scary. Now, does that take it into consideration? Is that going to stop me from going on different heights? Absolutely not. But I'm not going to do the Space Needle because there are too many people with fears who are projecting. And so I had to learn what my boundaries are. And that was one of them. I cannot go up into the Space Needle because other people don't have boundaries, even though I do. Climbing trees as a kid, but now I'm scared to go up on a 2-story house. Did something traumatic happen? Where you fell out of a tree, Jason, or something, that made you scared. Um, because it could be a self-infliction, it could be a projection of something that you witnessed happen. For me, I used to be extremely terrified of spiders. I can still somewhat manage them if they're not coming after me. But my fear came from watching a little girl that I used to babysit get bit and watching the pain. That's where my fear developed from. You just get vertigo. Try tapping into that and see how long it's been going on. See if it's a you problem. See if it's a um something else, something that you may have picked up. I would be curious to know about that. It could be a past life. It could be something you picked up in this life, a cycle that you need to break. They all interconnect. All right, the next one is can't even swing on a swing. I think it might be just be getting an old problem. Is that what it said? Getting old problem. It could be, but it's also fear. Fear stops us. So we have to get to the bottom of that fear to say, okay, why is fear stopping me in my tracks? Why? You have to ask yourself those things because there's something underlying that it wants you to get through. Because remember, our shadow work it's consisting of fears, good and bad. So something may have happened to you as a kid. I got stuck in a tree. Um, I still climb trees. I was stuck. Um, so yeah, the next one is intuitive empath. You're sensitive to physical pain others feel. So sometimes to the point of feeling it yourself. Have you ever I know there's been, I want to say on Grey's Anatomy, there was one where a little girl is in the ER and the mother's like, I can't keep doing this. Like every time she sees somebody in pain, she's instantly in pain. And it took another doctor to kind of witness and watch what she was doing. And that is a type of intuitive empath. You can feel that person's physical pain. Absolutely feel that person's physical pain. Oh, wait, no, that's physical empath. Whoops, I read the wrong thing. Intuitive empath is skilled at picking up the thoughts and emotions of others. So, someone could be sad. This is an exercise like an intuitive person. If you're out in a public place, take and stop and just look around you. Look at the people. Are they happy? Are they sad? Try to pick up on why. Why they're feeling those emotions, why they're thinking those things. You never know, being an intuitive empath, how many lives you will actually save, um, because it does make a difference, when you pick up on those things. I'm a shadow witch. I work in the shadows, so I can feel and see those shadows, immensely. So those are my intuitive, that's me being an intuitive empath. So now that we've done physical empath, now we're going to do plant empath. Um, Plant empath is pretty much if you're out in the garden or you work with plants, you are in tune, you know what they need. You have a way of making them happy. Maybe you're out there talking to your garden, and they talk back because everything does vibrate back. Your perspective. So are you in tune with your plants? Are you a plant empath? Are you an animal empath where you are surrounded by, you want to be around your animals rather than people? And it's the same thing with plants. You'd rather be around plants than people or animals. Nope, can barely keep strawberries alive. This means it's not your time yet. Your green thumb hasn't produced yet. Uh, Practice with the healing. It comes with shadow work. And when the shadow work begins, the healing, I can say I never thought I could have a garden and have the things that I have. I'm excited for the things that are coming up. So I go out and I talk to my garden. My garden still surprises me. The last 3 years that I've had it, the first year was trying to figure out what's in it. The second year, kind of planning it into my liking. And the third year, still planning it to my liking and still having no idea what's popping up and what's where. That's the beauty of my garden. But I'm still out there every day talking to my garden. So it's the same thing with animals. Are animals drawn to you? Speaking of, we have a squirrel and a crow friend that are becoming friends, and they've been like right outside our porch trying to get a picture. Hopefully I can get a picture today. But are they drawn to you? Do they want to be close to you? That's an animal empath. Um, okay, I lied. There was 7 empaths. I miscounted. Okay, the next one is an earth empath, which is you are in tune with not only nature, but everything as a whole. And that is beautiful. Like you see the harmonies, you see the magic, you see just the birth, the death. You see the full circle, and it's beautiful. You're very, very in tune with that earth element. Now, one that is not common, but does make sense and is surprising in a way, is dark empaths. Please do not say you are a dark empath because I may have to kick you in the butt because this is not a good empath. What a dark empath is they know that they are an empath. And what they do is they take their emotions as well as others and they use it to their own benefit, their own gain. So if somebody is an empath like us and they haven't picked up that they're an empath, a dark empath can absolutely come in and utilize that against the person. They can deplete those gifts, I guess you could say. So just be wary. All 3 of your brothers are dark empaths. Do they realize they're doing it? That's a good question. Do they realize they're doing it? Because they may not realize they're doing it because they may be stuck in those cycles and haven't been able to break them. So do they realize they're doing it or do they not? That's a good question to ask. One for sure, then he's not a good person to mingle with. And it could be the other 2 have picked up on it from him, not knowing that that's what he's doing. Um, so those are different kinds of empaths. I was very surprised. It's cool to find out that there's different kinds. I guess it puts you in a more than just a general empath feeling. So those that lack empathy, we know that not everybody has empathy, right? Um, are generally linked to your psychopathy disorders. So like bipolar disorder, or borderline personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, narcissists. Actually, narcissists are not an empath. They are just narcissists. They feed off you, they diminish you, but they have no remorse. They have no feelings towards you or others. So no, narcissists are not a dark empath. So those are ones most driving drugs. Agree to disagree, Christy, but I'm going to tell you that no, narcissists are not dark empaths. They are absolutely not dark empaths. They have commonality, but they are not empaths. It is in the research, and I have gone through the research, from experience, yes, it is. The narcissists that I have met are not dark empaths. They're not empathic at all. So if you met a narcissist who is a dark empath, chances are they are not a narcissist. They're just a dark empath gaining pleasure, or they're stuck in a cycle. Might need to reevaluate that one, because no, they're not an empath. Narcissists are not. I say this is because they are too good at reading others, but in an evil twist on it. That's why I said in commonality, it can be similar to a dark empath, but no. Um, they're about the games. It's like almost like having a BPD, borderline personality disorder, or um whatever the case, where that mind goblin is, they have that control, that power, and that's what it comes down to. But when in reality, they don't feel like if you're sad, they're not going to feel your sadness. They're going to take it, that narcissist is going to take it to a different level than a dark empath. A narcissist is going to be like, oh, well, I won't do that again. I'm sorry. And they repeat those cycles. They have, again, there's just no feeling. So just recount those measures and rethink, are those people dark empaths, or are they just narcissists? Because they, again, commonality, but they are not the same thing. Now, negative things. So our psychopathy disorders, we know, are not empathic, right? Other people can be not empathic as well, who have disorders, or I should say, more like are on the spectrum. They don't know how to express feelings, and they don't know how to show feelings. Now, that does not make them a bad person just because they are not empath and they are on the spectrum. No, it makes them a beautiful person. It's just they can't comprehend or they can comprehend it, and they just can't express it the way you and I can. So it's just, ew, excuse me. It's totally lost all train of thought. Yeah. So it can be, was definitely an empath and a narcissist, used every fear. You and I need to talk about that one, Christy, because no, he was not an empath. I will tell you that right now. No, he was not an empath. If this is the same one that you and I are talking about, I'm thinking about, no, he is not an empath. Not at all. He was a narcissist. 100% a narcissist. He just he knew your fears, used your fears, but had no emotions to them because he knew that was what would control you. A narcissist is their ability to get to know somebody, get to know a person's fears, and utilize them. So again, it's common traits as a dark empath, but he had no emotions. He had no care. He had none of that. Because it was same thing. He would say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I would never do it again, but then repeat it. That's why he's a narcissist and he is no longer in our lives. But anyways, so how can you be more empathetic? I hate that word because it sounds so derogatory, because when you say pathetic, it is saying that you are weak, you are lower than somebody. And then when you say empathetic, it doesn't have that right. For me, it doesn't have that right term. So if you're an empath, and you want to be more and develop your skills more, learn to be open. Learn to be open, honest, not with just yourself, but others around you. Because if you can't be honest with others, then how are you being honest with yourself? You're not. Patience. Give yourself patience. Active listening. Are you listening to the person, or are you coming in? Are you interrupting what they have to say? Are you shutting them down? Are you closing them off? So be mindful of those things. Picture yourself in those positions. So again, you don't have to be an empath to feel compassion. So you can absolutely practice these techniques so you can become compassionate and become understanding for not only yourself and others, but to make a more peaceful things. Set those boundaries. If somebody is coming at you and you say, and you're like, yes, 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 and you're now burnt out and you're getting sick or doing whatever the case may be, and you're not saying no, it's time to set those boundaries. No, I cannot do this. And here's why. And sometimes you don't even need to give an explanation. You can just say no. It's easy as that. You can say no and you can say yes. Get comfortable saying no. So it's with those boundaries, when you say no, you're standing up for yourself and saying no. For me, for example, I have a lot to lose in 2 weeks. I don't get to go for my bonus son's birthday, right? I have not missed a birthday since my hubby and I have been together. And it breaks my heart. We are doing something on the side, but because he is going to this brand new place that just opened for his birthday party, I cannot go. I have surgery a week after his birthday and I cannot afford to get sick. And I've had to say no. I've had people get upset with me because they're like, well, you want to go out for dinner and you want to not go to his. No, absolutely not. Same thing. That kid is sick. He can go to his mom's or he can go to school if he's not running a fever. I cannot afford to get sick. I cannot afford to get sick. So in my boundaries, I've set those boundaries. Like, absolutely not. I am not getting sick because your surgery is not on the line. My surgery is on the line. Because if I get sick within 2 weeks, yeah, they will cancel it. I don't want to get to Seattle and say, oh, you're sick? Sorry. Bye. Come back again. No, you have no idea. No, I'm not getting sick. So yes, set those boundaries. Get comfortable saying no, because if you can say no, you can also say yes to the things that you want to do or you can do. It is about recharging yourself and finding those boundaries so you can not get burnt out on a daily basis. No, you don't have to feel the world's pain. So like myself, and I've said it a couple times, I have taught myself to disassociate with I guess in a way with my empath side. And it sounds so derogatory when I say it that way, but it's really not. It's a beautiful process. Okay, so what happened is I disassociated. Yes, I mean, no, wait, what? For which part? Oh, letting go or getting comfortable saying no. um, so for me, I don't have to. What I did is because I felt the world. I take the world. I am a Cancer moon, and let me tell you, those emotions come out. I'm emotional. My Aquarius and my Scorpius, they're like, what? Seriously, why are we crying? Suck it up and pull those big old panties on and get moving. No, that's my emotional side. That's my empath side. That's that makes me feel. So what I do, when I shut the world out and I'm not around people and I'm not around other like things, I have my solitary. I get my recharge time. But I have found myself more diving into like TV shows or movies because they're real people playing them, right? They're real, generally, most of the time, real emotions brought on. So what I do is I play with movies and I play with um, TV shows. And, if like last week, I don't know who's watched Tracker, but he was jumping out of a airplane and I was like, my heart just starts racing. And I'm like, whoo, why is my heart racing? Like, I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting on my couch. Why is my heart racing? It's because I'm watching him jump out of a plane. And that's what somebody's heart's going to be like. They're going to, oh no, the big girl panties being pulled up. So, there, I lost all my thought. So I felt his heart racing, and it's like I had to work myself through those emotions, what he was feeling, and so that way I can still be in tune with my empath side and what other people are feeling. I certain YouTube videos, I can absolutely watch, and then the same person can post a different one, and I can't watch that story because it's just I do get into the crime scene ones, and sometimes it's a little bit too dark for me to handle, and I can't put that side in that empathy side on me because I it will put me into a dark place. So it's setting those boundaries, those healthy boundaries. So that's something that I do is I use TV um, to gain those experiences, to feel it. So I don't have to feel the world's pain because guess what? I'm not carrying the world's pain. I am one person and I know what my mission is. I'm not here to carry everybody's pain. So I protect myself. Learn to protect yourself. Develop your intuition. Play those intuition games. Um, use your intuition with somebody else. It all get out of your okay, know your authentic comfort zone. And when you step out of your comfort zone, make sure you recognize those perspectives because your comfort zone is going to be where you can be just yourself. You don't have to have all those voices and those feelings and those emotions and everything coming all at once at you. You're like, nope, I am in my box. Leave me alone. So, avoid emotional blame. So, what I like to think of emotional blame is playing the you game. If you are playing the you game, well, you did this, you did this, you did this. That's just only going to bring that person down. So, and I've said this before, is bringing it and saying, I did this to help myself. Um, I don't feel comfortable when this is being done. You're changing that perspective. So you're no longer putting that blame onto somebody else. You are now just changing that perspective. I am owning up for what I am doing. I don't I don't like this. Sorry, I heard a dog. I thought it was mine. I don't need this. So learn to not play the blame game because use statements can be absolutely detrimental. Ownership rule take accountability only for yourself. Exactly. You can only account for yourself and no one else's actions. So for me, when you hear me say, like, I am only one person, I truly mean I am only one person. I am not going to take accountability for, why dishes aren't being done when I'm, not the only person in the house. Just using that as an example, or why a kid's room is not cleaned when it's supposed to be, and they'd rather be playing video games and now they're throwing a fit. That's taking account. If you're not taking accountability and you're trying to push it off onto somebody else, absolutely. Hey, quit. Okay, anyways, so focus on grounding techniques, like all these things. Like we've talked about grounding, we've talked about protection, we've talked about cleansing. Get into a good routine of doing that. So when you're in the shower, it's not just a shower to wash your body. Actively, intently think, oh, I'm cleansing all these energies or these negative energies. It's washing down the drain. Feel that. Feel those energies just literally wash down the drain. And for me, it helps me because I do like the water, but water is so cleansing. Get in those habits, work on that self-care. Spend time in nature, like many of the things. And if you don't have nature, then houseplants, those will help, or go for a walk in a park. Um, all those things. Get that washcloth and clean that negative off of yourself. Choices and consequences. Exactly. Where there's one choice, there is absolutely going to be a consequence. So, and that goes throughout life. That's when you're manifesting stuff, when you are being an empath. What about the yeah, no, I'm not even gonna go there. That's too much. Not even gonna go there. Too much. Nope. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. That was not never mind. Not an image I needed to say today. Not any anyways. So understanding yourself limiting narratives. If you're being pushed too far and it's making you uncomfortable, walk away from this situation. You can absolutely turn it around and go and do those things that you need to do. Know that emotions of others are not your fault. They're projecting onto you to make themselves feel better and lower your self-esteem. But if you're vibrating higher and you're working on yourself, those negative emotions are not going to bring you down. We can't help everybody. Sometimes we got to let go. Learn to let go. Um yeah, okay. So how as an empath, we know that we're very, very, very vulnerable as empaths. And we can have so many things attached to us, negative energies, people's energies, just that the heavy weighing, like, ugh, gross things. Make time for yourself. Do those self-care rituals. Do those things that make you feel good. Develop a habit. It takes 21 days to make a habit. So if you're doing 21 days of consistent grounding, guess what? You've now formed yourself to help ground yourself as an empath. You can now, when you go into public situations, you can now feel, okay, do I want to stay here? Do I not? No, it's up to you. Um, Girls, go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down, please. Um, Spend time with people who are going to not only pour themselves into what you're doing, but you as well. So you're not depleting yourself and just pouring and giving and giving and giving and giving. No, you want somebody to match that energy. So those toxic people, throw them away, let them go. Why? Because they are weighing you down. They are not matching your energy. Um, Create an empath room, create a safe space where you don't feel emotions, where you can turn it. I'll say this, the duration of time that you spend on any situation will dictate the amount of effort you'll need to correct the situation. It is temporary. Is it temporary or long term? Exactly. But just remember, sometimes we do come back to those situations because we do have those extra pieces where we didn't quite learn it correctly the first time. So we have to go back and learn it again, or we're learning something completely different from that same situation. Stay away from that negative energy. We're weeding those negative out, and we're making room for the growth and warmth that everybody else. Quit! Get out of the window. Pull over. Out of the window, please. Can't take you anywhere. Gotta love it. Puppies outside, so sure, they think they get to go outside and go have fun. Create a shield of light. It could be just as simple as putting a dome of light around you and saying, I am protected. My energy is protected. No negative energy will come in and attach to me. And it still allows you to feel and understand. You can do like I have done, where I have completely detached and I've turned my empath meter down. So not all of those emotions are coming at me. And I can still learn and understand and know what I need to do to move forward to help those people. Um, so if you are an empath, ask yourself these questions. If you're answering yes to more than one of the questions, chances are you are an empath. And I will type these questions up and I will call over and I will post them in the group. And yeah. So anyways, ask yourself these questions. Do you frequently get overwhelmed or anxious? Are you drained by crowds and need alone time to revive yourself? Are you overstimulated by noise that never go odors or nonstop talkers, those people that just yickety yak yak yak. Do you have chemical sensitivities or can't tolerate scratchy clothes? I hate. And I don't like the word hate. I don't hate. I hate wool. Cannot stand it on my skin. Never have been able to. Never have been. So, yeah. Um, do you prefer taking your own car places so you can leave early if you need to? Are you afraid of becoming suffocated by intimate relationships? Do you absorb other people's stress, emotions, or symptoms? Do you replenish yourself in nature? Do you need a long time to recuperate after being with difficult people or energy vampires? Do you prefer one to one interactions or small groups rather than large gatherings? These are all questions for everybody. It wasn't just for you. All right. So we're going to finish up and we're going to we're going to do moonology because today is the new moon in May. I didn't get it posted in the group. A lot going on. So we're going to work on this one. Does anybody have any questions or anything in regards to empaths? Good morning, moonology. What messages do people need to hear this week? So I'm going to take a moment while everybody's gathering their things and we're shuffling. I want to say thank you to everybody who's joined me on the live. It's been absolutely amazing. And I love doing this. Thank you for who's joining now. Thank you for who's joining later on and watching. It may not make sense. It's my lucky numbers are these don't have numbers. Sorry. All right, we're going to do 3 more shuffles, Moonology. I think this might be a simple 1-card draw today. I'm not feeling chatty. Okay. Moon Mastery, the law of attraction. Okay, so this is so beautiful because we just talked about being empaths and being together. So, set those boundaries, go out, have fun, be with nature, develop your skills, get in tune with yourself. Well, so much for winning Powerball. Get in tune with yourself. Find those people who are meant to match that same energy as yours. It's truly beautiful. So much for winning Powerball. Absolutely. I know. Maybe next time. I don't even know. Haven't played in forever. But as always, this is Tea Time with Lady M. I will see you next week. And then next week will be our final week, and then I'll have a 2-week break due to medical. So I will be hopping off. I hope you enjoyed the live. As always, I love you all and thank you.